Welcome back, guys. My name is Chris Patrick, and today we're going to talk about our Pro Short Course 10 converted into a DR10 update on what we've got going on here, and to show you some video footage of it running, doing a little bit of testing, and bring you up and close and personal and show you what we got going on. So stay tuned, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Now we've got you guys a little bit closer. You're going to notice we've got our body fully painted. Obviously, it's painted by myself, but I had a bunch of help. And with designing concept of this, I think the design of the body alone took me 2, maybe 3 weeks to come up with a good scheme. Thanks to John for helping me with this on coming up with it. Unfortunately, what's the word I'm looking for? The execution of the paint was not the best. So I don't have a whole lot of experience painting fluorescent paints. So I started off trying to get the fluorescent green from Spastics to give me a darker finish. Well, my execution of such did not come out very well, and it almost looks kind of like a weird, like green camo. I don't know how to word it. And unfortunately, when you buy a shark body, they come with the colored tint on the outside, so you don't really know what you're working with unless you peel the tint off. So I fought with that for a while, and I said, well, I'm just going to continue with the body, because at this point I've already sprayed that down first and discovered that I had some issues with it. But all in all, once I finished it and peeled everything off, I'm kind of happy with the way it came out, so I'm just going to continue to keep running it the way that it looks. It does sit really low to the ground, so let me move everything out of the way, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, so I'll bring you guys right back. So first thing you're going to notice, this front end looks a little different than a standard shark body, and in theory it actually does. That alone was probably 2 days of trying to get the front end down. So keep in mind, this car is being built for spec class. So it is the 13.5 Super Street, I believe is the name, or Super Stock. I forget the exact name that they're going with it. But I wanted to get that nose profile as low as I could without hitting the ground and not giving up a whole lot of aero and creating a problem. So I know a lot of people want more downforce on that front nose to keep the front down, and I get that, especially if you're running a bigger motor like the Unlimited class. But when you're running spec, you kind of have to do every little detail to get as much as you can out of it. So what I did was cut about 1 inch, I believe it was, off of this and kind of made a split bumper out of it. So I end up raising the bumper up about 3/4 of an inch on the front end, and I'll post a picture while I'm explaining this of a difference from one before I painted it, of one that was trimmed and one that was straight from the factory, and you'll see the difference of that front nose. So along with that comes the back end, and again, it kind of goes back to not knowing what to do, because there's not a whole lot of videos out there on building a spec build on the back end. I know you have to have a full bumper, so you have to be compatible and compliant with those rules, but you also only have a 2-inch gap that you can only run a rear spoiler with, maximum. And then you also have height restrictions, you have the side rails, you have a rule that you need to follow with. So I was kind of tinkering and toying with what I wanted to do. I ended up making this about as flat as I could. It's got just a slight taper on the end of it, because again, I don't really need the downforce on the big end of the track. This car does not produce that much power and torque on the big end to need and justify those big wings. So obviously the rules don't allow it. So you have to get that fine line of what works with the car, what doesn't. So This is a cut down version of the stock wing that comes with the shark body. So that's what that is. Let's go ahead. We're going to remove our body and we're going to take a look at the inside and see what we got going on. So first thing you're going to notice when I take this body off is the wheelie bar is gone. Well, of course, the super stock does not allow you to run rear wheelie bars. So I still have the mount. The mount is on there for a couple different reasons. First of all, it's strengthening the whole rear end of this car because of how it's mounted. This was, again, custom designed by myself, but it also still has the links. This link is extremely close to the spur gear. I mean, extremely close. But my thing is I did not want this Deflex to move at all when it comes to the motor plate flexing against the chassis and the arms for the shock towers, the shock post, the whole 9 yards. It all goes back to a full circle of everything is designed for a reason. So obviously I still got a long screw here I've got to take out and put a shorter one in. That's easy. I just didn't have it handy. But let's start with the front and we're going to work our way around the back. So with the front, you're going to notice the first thing that sticks out is those pink boots. And what those are is fuel line for a nitro vehicle. And those are used as a stop or a buffer. So when your car comes up on power and it comes back down, it hits those stops. Those stops are also used so if you actually start traction hooking, let's say your right rear, for example, hooks, and the left side spins and it wants to go this way and around, well, when it does that, it's going to lean all of its pressure on that far side, and it hits that bump stop. That bump stop is what's going to keep you and your car continuing to go straight, or as close to straight as you can keep it without losing complete control of your vehicle. Where if it had the full motion of it, this thing would keep going all the way up. You'd have a lot more travel, and that's what you don't want. So currently, these are the stock springs running 30 weight oils in the front. That is about to change along with the rear shocks. But yeah, I'm okay with how it handled. You're going to see some of the hits that I've done with it. So next thing you're going to notice is the rake. It does have a pretty good rake to it currently. Am I happy about the rake? No, I'm not. And that's kind of what I'm in the detail and process of trying to figure out how to get this down and not give up so much traction and it get out of the hole like I want it to. So I'll show you some videos of it launching and running while I'm speaking, so you're going to see what I'm talking about. But what's happening right now is it wants to squat, and when it squats, then it goes forward. I'm trying to eliminate the squat within reasoning and accept what I would call acceptable, and then allow it to drive forward. So that's going to end change of detail of changing springs, oil, pistons, pretty much everything about the rear shock is going to get changed. Motor handled great. I'm actually still impressed with how well the motor ran, actually. And I won't give you details on timing, but let's just say it gets hot after about 3 pulls. That's about all you need to know. One day you'll learn, but right now it's still in testing stages, so I don't want you guys to go gung-ho crazy with your timing yet. But all in all, routing of wiring is kind of a nightmare because I wanted to keep it within the shocks. I don't want everything going out and around, so I fed a lot of it through the shock tower and down and around. The capacitor for it's actually tucked on the shock tower itself on the back side. Kind of hard to see, but it's down in there. So it's actually right there. You guys, I think you should be able to see it. But yeah, all in all, these are not the tires that I was running with it on the videos. I'm actually using, or was using, I should say, an old set of Proline Primes, and these things are bald. There is no grip. I don't say grip. They have grip. They still actually have plenty of grip, but they just have no tread to them. So these are worn out. These actually have had for a while from my short course 4x4. I just didn't have anything big enough. This is what I originally bought, and you can see the size difference when I set that right in front of it. So this is a lot smaller than this tire. So the issue I was running into trying to use these little tires was gearing, as well as traction. They are a little bit narrower in width than the bigger ones, but I felt like I was just not getting enough top end speed out of it. It didn't matter what gear I tried. It just felt like it was just slacking that top end speed I was looking for. So I grabbed those primes and threw it on there, and instantly changed to what I was looking for. So the gear ratio was basically way off. I kind of knew that going into it. It was just trying to figure out where to start. So again, where to start with this gearing wise, I'm going to tell you 72 spur 27 pinion is kind of a good starting point. But again, that's just a starting point. I've already tinkered with it and got it to pick up a little bit more on the top end speed, but I'm able to get it to launch out of the hole like I wanted to with the gearing where it's at. I'm not telling you what gear exactly is on it, but it's close. But yeah, I wanted to give you all an update, keep you guys kind of included on this build and process. So let me know what you guys think on this so far. And hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the launches and the run-by videos that I've taken for you guys here. And with that, we're going to wrap this video up. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful and fantastic day. And don't forget to go and hit the like. Don't forget to comment on what you guys think of this so far. And if you do, subscribe. I appreciate it, and I will see you all on the next one.